Hello, wonderful person. Aaron speaking. And in this video, we will be talking about the different properties of triangles that you will need to know for the test. I will be assuming that you already understand the properties of angles. So if you haven't already checked out that video, please take a break right now and watch that one. So triangles. The first thing we're going to talk about are the two different ways to classify triangles. What is a triangle? First of all, a triangle is a two-dimensional shape that has three, aka triangles, which we already discussed. So the two different ways to classify them are either by their sides, or you could classify triangles by their angles. Every single triangle could be classified by one of the angle classification and by one of the side classification, which we will dive into after describing them. So the different ways they could be described by their sides, we have scalene triangle, we have isosceles triangle, isosceles, and we also have equilateral triangles. And what do these terms mean, equilateral? So a scalene triangle is a triangle where all three sides are different lengths. So let's say this was 2 meters, this was 4 meters, and this side was 3 meters. All three sides are different lengths, which also means all three angles are different lengths. An isosceles triangle is a triangle where two of the sides are the same length, and the third side is different. So an example, let's say this side is 5 meters, this side is 5 meters, and this side is 3. This is an isosceles triangle because two of the sides are the same. Keep in mind, whenever you have an isosceles triangle and two of the sides are the same length, that also means two of the angles are going to be the same length. And it will be the angles opposite of the sides that are the same length. So the angle opposite from the one different side will be the only angle different from the other two in a triangle. And this is a property you definitely might come across on a problem. So please keep this in mind. Whenever you see a triangle with two sides with the same length, that also means two angles are the same length. Equilateral triangles are triangles where all three sides are the same length. So let's say this is 3, this is 3, and this is 3. 3 for triangle. So if all three sides are the same length, that also means all three angles are the same length. So this is one way to classify triangles based off of the how many sides are equal to each other. And the other way you could classify triangles are by their angles. And this is going to be based off of the classification of angles that we saw in the previous video. So we have obtuse triangles, we have right triangles, and we also have the cutest, acute triangles. So for obtuse triangles, a triangle is an obtuse triangle if one of the angles in a triangle is obtuse. So if you have one obtuse angle, then it's an obtuse triangle. A right triangle is a triangle that has one right angle. So all right triangles would be indicated with a box, as I said in the previous video, means there's a right angle. And again, just to reiterate, right angles are always 90 degrees, or also called perpendicular to each other. Acute triangle are triangles where all three angles are less than 90 degrees, aka acute. So notice how right triangles, they do have two acute angles. Obtuse triangles also have two acute angles. But acute triangles, all three of them are acute. If there's one right angle, it's a right triangle. If it's one obtuse angle, then it's an obtuse. Now, you could have different kinds of angles and sides combinations. So you could have a scalene obtuse, you could have an isosceles obtuse, or you could have a right isosceles. And there's different kinds of combinations between all kinds of triangles by their sides and their angles. So just make sure you know how to identify them based off of both classifications. The only other property you'll need to know for this exam for triangles is that the sum of all angles inside of the triangle will always be 180 degrees. So let's say I have a triangle, and this will be, first let's classify this. Let's say this is 3, this is 5, and this has a length of 6. So automatically we could tell that this is a scalene because all sides are different lengths. Now also, all of these angles are less than 90 degrees. So this would be an acute scalene triangle. Now let's look at the angles. Let's say this angle was given to be 30 degrees, and let's say this angle was given to be 80 degrees. We could use this information to figure out what is the degrees of angle A. And we could do that because we know the sum of all the angles have to equal 180, which means 30 plus 80 plus A is equal to 180. 30 plus 80. So first let's combine like terms. We know 30 plus 80 is going to be 110. And now we can subtract 110 on both sides to get A is equal to 70 degrees. So we use this property to solve for a lot of angles whenever you have a triangle. And keep in mind, notice how all of these angles, both angle A, 30 and 80, are less than 90 degrees, which affirms that it's an acute triangle. That's all the information you need to know about triangles for the exam. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Stay awesome and have a great day.